This video is helpful for the English literature aspirants st- who are trying for the UGC NET, GRF set of the states and the NVS PGT, NVS PGT, KVS PGT, and the state level PGT exams of the English literature. Very helpful for the English literature. Firstly, we know about the what is literature. Literature is the reflection of the society and of the time, and it also literature comprise writing that are valuable as works of art, especially fiction, drama, and poetry. It is the mixture of the drama, poetry, fiction, is the literature. Now we studying about the Chaucer to Shakespeare. Firstly, we are studying about the Chaucer. Geoffrey Chaucer was born in 1340 and he was died in 1400. Geoffrey Chaucer is not the father of English poetry. He is also the father of the modern English. Now, now we discussing about some about the French period. D. Lawrence and the D. Meung. The French, those are the French writers, and the remount of the roses in into English, uh, and translated their lengthy romances. The remount of the roses. This is the work of the Geoffrey Chaucer, and it was in 8,000 lines depicts in the drawbacks of the marriage and the deceitfulness of the women. The Book of the Duchess, The Complaint up to the Petty, French seven line stanzas, and Rhyme Royal. Rhyme Royal is that is Rhyme Royal means the 10 syllabic lines arranged in the seven line stanza. Seven line stanza. The Italian period. Chaucer visited Italy in 1372. After that, Chaucer's The House of the Fame, dated the Divine Comedy, House of Rumors, the works of Chaucer, Parliament Falls, Troilus and Cressida. It is also the work of the also work of the Geoffrey Chaucer. Canterbury Tales idea were drawn from the Boccaccio Decameron. The Legend of Good Woman. The Legend of Good Woman is has been borrowed from the Latin sources. Heroic couplet. Heroic couplet, the English period and Chaucer originated the period of 1384 to 1390, known as the English period of Chaucer poetic career. The Canterbury Tales marks the dawn of a new spot of converse and the title upon the Chaucer being called the father of English poetry, the father of English novel. Next is the plagiarist. Plagiarist means who published, borrowed, or the copied out the literary work as a original. The London dialects and the King English. There were the four popular dialects: the northern, the southern, the eastern Midland, and the West Midland dialects. Those are the four popular dialects: the northern, the southern, the Midland, and the Western Midland dialects. Chaucer adapted the London dialects, the King's English. Uh, Father of English poetry and the modern English is the Geoffrey Chaucer. Next poet is John Gower. He died. Geoffrey Chaucer. He was the contemporary of the Geoffrey Chaucer and 8 years of Chaucer death. He died at 1408. Speculum Mediatrix. It runs the 30,000 lines along the sermon in the French in the verse. Vox Clematis, the Latin, the peasant revolt of 1381. The peasant revolt happened in the 1381. The Confessio and Amantis. Confessio and Amantis are written at 1384. It is in octasyllabic couplets. Octasyllabic couplets in the 8 line stanzas. Now the William Langland. He is all after the Chaucer. William Langland come and her works are numerous, and seven deadly sins are the most. Seven deadly sins is the presentation of the William Langland. Next is John Barber. He was born near about 1316 in the Ab- Aberdeenshire. Those are the some contemporary and the poets and the writers of the Chaucer is. Now move to the some objective question. Chaucer began the write the Canterbury Tales in which year? He write the Canterbury Tales in 1385. Canterbury Tales were written. Canterbury Tales was written in 1385. The Chaucer died in 1400. The Anglo-Saxon is only a language. Beowulf, the earliest surviving epic, belongs the period 1066 to 1350. English became the language of the school and the England in the year. In the school and the England language is English is in 1350. English became the tongue of the law of the court in the year. Court law, court law tongue English is in 1362. English was adopted by the British Parliament in the year 1369. Now the French romances translated the Chaucer in English. The Romance of the Rose. Who invented the Rima Royal? Geoffrey Geoffrey Chaucer. Geoffrey Chaucer invented the rhyme royal. The work Divine Comedy belongs to Dante. Comedy belongs to Dante. Who introduced the heroic couplet in English verse? Chaucer introduced the heroic couplet in English verse. Chaucer gives us the realistic picture of the medicine man of his times. The science of primitive was based on that is based on the astrology. Chaucer work Doctor of Physique. The Chaucer work Doctor of Physique is the medicine man of his time. Chaucer work Doctor of Physique is the medicine man of his times. He found English a dialect and left it a language. Who estimate the Chaucer greatness in this respect? That is Lois. Chaucer was called the earliest the great moderns and also called the morning star of the Renaissance. Who initiated these remarks? These remarks has been given by the Albert. Albert given this remark to Chaucer, the earliest of the greatest modern and also called the modern stars of the Renaissance. Girls who refuse to obey the wishes their parents and severely beaten until they obeyed, who indicates those status of women in society during the Chaucerian period. That is Trevelyan. In which of the following works of Chaucer present the picture of the strong united nation? Contemporary tales. In the contemporary tales, Chaucer present the picture of the strong united nation. Which of the following in the period of the is called the Old English period? English period is before the 1066. In which year the Owl and the Nightingale was published? Owl and the Nightingale published in the 1250. Which of the following years is an important landmark in the history of the England literature as well as in the history of English nation? It is because of the normal conquest of the England is Hastings battlefield that happened in 1066. Which what does medieval chivalry mean? It means showy praise of women. The age of Chaucer is the meeting ground of a medieval and the modern, the Renaissance, the Reformation, the old and the new, and the religious and the secular. Who remarked this? Kittredge. Kittredge. Kittredge remarks this. In which of the following year Norman Lois, the native of the Normandy, began to look England as his as their home? That is, as their home is 1204. Which of the following works belong to Chaucer? The prologue is the work of the Chaucer. Ah, freedom is the noble thing. Who composer of this line? Barber. Barber is the name the poet of the following poems. Uh, this question is not much important. The next is all the Chaucerian features helped to the create the modern atmosphere and indeed the genius and stand along the nearly 100 years none dare equality of the him who remarks this E. Albert. Which of the following is not the contemporary of the Chaucer? John McDivell is not the contemporary of the Chaucer, and the contemporary of the Chaucer are the John Barber, John Gower, William Langland. Next question is which of the following four dialects was become the standard English, the King English by the time of Chaucer? The East Midland. East Midland. Next question is in the 14th century, the band Minto sang the celebrating the victory of King Edward over the French at the poet, poetry's 1336 and the Crecy 1348. Such songs did much to rouse national consciousness. John Gower was born in the year. The specific time of the John Gower is not specific. The next is John Gower died in the year 1408. John Gower died after 8 years of the Geoffrey Chaucer. Gower Speculum Meditatis is a French work. Gower Speculum Meditatis is a French work. I hope you are understanding what I am reading or I am trying uh, to tell you the information from the Geoffrey Chaucer and the Chaucer to Shakespeare is. Next is the Fairy Queen. Fairy Queen, based on the romance, was written by Spenser. Fairy Queen is written by the Spenser. Next is the Chaucer Express is as a whole. Next is Chaucer was not any ancient poet of the people. Who says this line? Chaucer was not the any sense of the poet of the line. Hudson says this. Next is a merchant was the with the forsake of beard he mounted the horse at the set that is called by the Chaucer. When Adam delved and Espen, who was then the gentleman, who told this to the people. That this was told by the people by the agitator of the peasants. Agitator of the peasant said this. Where was Chaucer born and the bred? Chaucer was born and bred in London. Who has been called the Prince of Plagiarists? Prince of Plagiarists is called the Geoffrey Chaucer. This is the most important which can comes in the HP Commission. Who was called the first Protestant and the father of English Reformation has equal justice, the father of the prose. That was John Wycliffe. John Wycliffe is the reformer in the English language. Which of the following books was written by the French physician Jean de Bourgogne? Travel or Sir John Medwell, who was the first to translate the Bible into English? John Wycliffe translate Bible into English. Chaucer is the great dramatist of the England. That is the false statement. Now, who were Lollards? Lollards were the follower of the John Wycliffe. Follower of the John Wycliffe are called the Lollards. It is an encyclopedia of the art love of the following. There is the Confessio and Amantis. Confessio and Amantis is the encyclopedia and the art of the love love. Confessio and Amantis is an encyclopedia of the art of the love. This is the first chapter of the Geoffrey Chaucer. We are discussing in this video about the question on the Geoffrey Gower, William Langland, and the other contemporary of the Geoffrey Chaucer. I hope you understand and you learn and you know the knowledge of from the Chaucer to Shakespeare, and this video is helpful for your net set GRF and the other things. This is my maiden speech of the video. I hope you understand this, and the content is main motto of this video is the content for you, and you know the content of the Geoffrey Chaucer. Please like, share, and subscribe the channel. Thank you.